Revenge films.
I'm a single mother working from home. I have a son in middle school and another in preschool. I have several certifications, so I make a decent living from home. So I was able to afford to send my eldest son to a private middle school that he wanted to attend. I make enough money, but people imagine a chaotic household is tight on money when they hear single mother. Maybe that misconception is part of the reason of what led to this terrible misunderstanding. One day, I was asked to stop by my younger son's preschool. I knew that my son wasn't a bully and that he had no problems at home, and I'd never been late to pay his tuition. So honestly, I had no idea why they wanted to see me. So I headed to the preschool a bit confused. When I got there, the principal said, "There were rumors that you make your money at home using your body." I was shocked beyond belief. I was also told that it wasn't just me who was called in that day. She took me to a big conference room, and the whole board of the PTA was sitting there waiting for me, and they all started attacking me. There, I explained to them what I did. I told them that there's this guy who comes over every other day who's a coworker, and there are many other men and women who visit my house for work. Well, how are we supposed to know that that's what's going on in there? They didn't even give me enough time to explain myself and started throwing random accusations at me. There's no way to make enough money from home to send your child to a private school. Yeah, if there is such a job, sign me up. Half of them didn't even care to hear me out. Like I said, single mothers are normally perceived to have little income. But I had worked my way here. I had worked hard to search for different ways to make enough money to raise 2 children, and I was a self-made woman. It didn't feel good to be criticized like this, but part of me knew that it was pointless to try to convince people who had already made up their minds. So I switched strategies. I didn't care whether they believed me or not, as much as where these rumors were coming from. And I didn't want my son to get bullied for it either. So I asked who had been spreading these rumors and found out that it was basically a few parents just passing the rumors around among themselves. The principal was furious when we got to the bottom of it. "Those of you who are spreading false rumors around are a bad example to our students. If I ever find out that any of you are doing this ever again, your child will be expelled from the school." Even I was taken back at how mad she was. It's true that my son would be devastated if the other children started making fun of him for these false rumors at school. It would be unfair to him if anything happened were his friends to distance themselves from him. We found out that Felicity, the mother who was accusing me earlier, whose mother-in-law lived in the same apartment as me, was the one who started the rumors. "My mother-in-law passed by your room the other day and said that she could hear you fooling around with a man all the way from the hallway." Hold on a second. That doesn't make sense. I live in the corner room on the top floor of the apartment. It's the farthest room from the elevator. The only people who would ever be in front of my room are people who are there to see me. There shouldn't be anyone just passing by. After voicing my concern, the principal proceeded to call Felicity's mother-in-law. She started going crazy and tried to stop her, but everyone held her back. I just stood by and watched everything go on. I could already tell from Felicity's behavior, but things revealed themselves as expected. "I never said or heard anything like that. I have no reason to be on the top floor anyways. I've never even seen the top floor since I moved into that apartment." All eyes were on Felicity. She broke down crying. We all waited for an explanation, and somehow Felicity made it all my fault. "It's all your fault, Rose!" I was never very close with Felicity. We just exchanged greetings when we crossed paths occasionally. So this remark just confused me even more. One of the older mothers and the principal calmed her down and gave her some time to explain herself. They found out that Felicity had been randomly visiting her mother-in-law one day and fell in love with my coworker, who she claimed to be the guy I was selling my body to. Felicity was sure that that guy was my boyfriend, so she tried to get close to me so she could steal him from me. But apparently I had ignored her. So her next move was to get her daughter close to my eldest son because they were in the same grade. But my son had gone to a private middle school, so she couldn't approach me through him. And finally, she thought that if she could spread rumors that I was prostituting myself, he would hate me and leave me. How short-sighted and foolish of her. Looking back, I did recall a few instances that Felicity had come up to me and asked about my coworker, but I brushed her off and told her that we were just connected through work. I mean, that's all he really was. I never asked him about his personal life, so all I could do was give her vague answers to her questions. I guess Felicity took that as me ignoring her. Anyways, I decided to deal with this as a defamation case later on and ask the others why they believe such a blatant lie. Back when I used to be a part of the PTA, I invited the members over to discuss an upcoming event. And when they came, they noticed that there were all kinds of items from all around the world at my house. They thought it was weird that a single mother like me could buy such expensive items from all around the world. So that's what made the story believable. All of these judgmental people were making me go nuts. I mean, it wasn't ever a secret, but they didn't know that my grandmother was from the Middle East. And when she came to the States to get married, she had brought many things with her. And they were artifacts that were handed down to me. So naturally, they were from all over the world, but not bought from overseas, brought from overseas. Now the conversation set off another chain of events. Hey, Brittany, do you remember that cute statue you said you bought recently? I think I remember seeing that in Rose's house. Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Speaking of which, Courtney, that cup at your house, isn't that Rose's? Wait, those spoons that Deborah has? They all started incriminating each other. Hold on, so let me get this straight. Not only were all these people believing crazy rumors about me, but they were also stealing from me too? Those things that they stole were beautiful items, but they were odd numbers or random shapes, and some of the objects were broken and chipped in places. I was just randomly showcasing them on a cheap IKEA shelf that I bought, so I never even noticed that they were gone. They could have just asked and I would have given them up. I still had more like those in my closets. I was just kind of in awe, but the principal was furious. All of you will be expelled. I remember her shouting something like that, but I was too tired, so I went home. Since that incident, people have been coming over with their husbands, father-in-laws, and grandparents to apologize.
I'm very sorry for what my wife did. This is some money to compensate for the stolen goods.
So many people were coming over like that daily, and I was getting really tired. I mean, it wasn't right for them to steal my things, but honestly, they were pretty much garbage to me, so I didn't care to receive any money for them. But even if I tried refusing the money, they wouldn't take no for an answer. For some weird reason, I felt guilty for accepting that money, and it tired me to refuse it every time. My kids were used to people coming in and out of the house, but it kind of scared them to see their friends' parents show up with their relatives to apologize to me one after another. But everything settled down after a couple of days. Everyone now understood what I actually did for a living, and the rumors stopped. I'm just glad that my son made it through without having to experience anything negative. And he still goes to that preschool as a happy student. Oh, what an exhausting incident.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.